Well, happy Friday. Today was a very, very choppy day. Ended up, though, having a really nice trade. Just being super patient, looking for the exact same things I've been looking for all week. Very happy with my discipline and my patience there. And today we finally got a really good setup on it and executed at a high level. So we're going to go and recap today's trade. These are all my 300K Apex funded accounts. You can use code TBM to get 80% off right now. Let's go ahead and look at the biggest day on the stream in a while. All right. Yo, what's up? Sorry I'm late. I had to drop the kids off at school and I got stuck behind the school buses out of our neighborhood. I left like 2 minutes too late and ended up being like a 10-minute delay. Brutal. Kids, man. Anyways, I'm here now. Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. Markets are open. 7:30 we had housing starts. 9 o'clock we got Michigan sentiment and monthly OPEX options expiration. So with OPEX, we'll see what we get today. Here's VWAP right now. I don't know if it's going to be tight. I don't know if it's going to be volatile. I don't know if it's going to be really whippy. We're just going to have to play it by ear and see. We are opening up right at VWAP right now, or we opened up earlier, or higher, but we are right at VWAP. We got point control right here as well. Yesterday's close and yesterday's point control down at 400. Overnight highs at 510. Overnight lows at... Did I miss it? Overnight lows at 350. Pretty tight, honestly. This is what the daily chart looks like too. I mean, really nice doji after a pretty nice move. It's Friday. And OPEX, whatever you want to call it. Options expiration, monthlies. I don't know if we're going to dump out of it. But from a daily perspective, it kind of looks nice for a rollover. I'm not going to lie. Failed to run the prior highs. I mean, obviously, if we push up into new highs on the session, we're probably going to run yesterday's high and that whole concept changes. But it looks a little rolly and we slowed down a lot. So I wouldn't be shocked for us to rotate. But it is Friday, so who knows? Just what I'm seeing on the daily level. The strategy, everything's staying the same. Waiting for a good solid wick test or initial balance. We've got Michigan sentiment at 9 o'clock, should move us a little bit. After 9 o'clock, if I see good bottoming candles or good topping candles, I'll take that price action trade. I'm not going to do it before then. Only trade I'll take before 9 o'clock is a wick test if it's really pretty. And a true fired off wick test, not just an untested wick. And that's the strategy for today. Gonna be patient and get after it. Now, would you prefer to see initial balance levels not in the 80s or 20s so the retest bounce off them comes back? No, I'm actually fine with initial balance being in the 80s and 20s. In fact, I almost like it more because it's such a sweet spot for bounces. So the push above it into 30 or 40 for the retest, like if it was at 20, the push above it to 30 or 40 for the retest back into 20, I think is usually pretty clean, actually. Would you explain options monthly expiration? Options have expiration dates, and they are all, they're expiring today. Why is it important? Because honestly, you can go really in depth on this. And I'm also not educated enough to go super in depth, but basically the way dealers position with options as an underlying can cause some weird hedging sort of situations and wicks, etc. There's also this concept of max pain in options. Max pain being like, at what point is are most positions on options getting fried? So another thing that you got to think about. So it typically becomes a battle. And can lead to some weird action. Which resources would you recommend for someone that's past the basics of learning how to trade but still wants to improve? I think understanding that you're going to constantly have to be improving because the market conditions are always changing. But I think once you understand, if you have something that's working, and once you're past like the quote unquote basics, it really becomes an improvement on you, in my opinion. Your mental, your discipline, your patience, your greed. After you understand the charts and you have something that works for the most part, then it's like understanding your data and understanding you. And how can you improve your data based on the decisions that you are making? That's what I would say. The longer that I'm in trading, the more I realize that And I've said this for a long time, and I will continue to say it. I don't think it's that hard to make money in the markets. I think it's hard to keep money in the markets. And keeping money in the markets typically becomes down to how are you handling conditions? How are you preventing tilt? How are you, walking away on days, whether green or red? It's not that hard to click buttons. And at the end of the day, you're either buying or selling. It's not that complicated. And in any given move, you can kind of make out with some money potentially, right? Like there can be a move to the upside that still has some pullbacks that you make money on. And in that same move, you could be long the whole way and make money, right? Like there's ways to make money. It's just how can you keep it in the long run? And a lot of people are very sprinty based, myself included, of like short periods of focus and then you slack, right? And then there's pain when you slack. It's like, how can I not slack? You do off-stream trade recaps? No, I don't. It's fun to film in the morning and it's fun to post a recap, and I enjoy having my me time as well to just enjoy trading by myself. All right, as we get closer to news, as we talk about often, we'll watch the book over on the right side of the screen. See if the spreads open up. They're starting to do that right now. The spread meaning where is the closest bid and the closest ask to the last traded price. You can see it's like 4 ticks right now. As the spread opens up, you can expect more volatility. As the books thin out, it's a lot easier to move orders, or to move price, I should say, when there's no orders. So there we go. Books opened up. There's news at 9 o'clock. Nice slap into yesterday's close, yesterday's point of control. That was a 40-point dump so far. Books are still opened. I'm not even considering taking a trade until the spread tightens up. Couldn't flush the lows. Something to be said about that. We still potentially have time, but yeah, we couldn't flush the lows right off the bat. It's like, what, 2 points away from flushing the lows, 2 or 3 points? Down in the 90s range, 88 is the actual low of day, 88 and a quarter. Okay. Oh, you know what it's going to do, chat? You know what it's going to do? It's going to run IB at like 925. We got a wick test that just fired off. The wick test is in the middle of the range. I'm not going to take it. I've gotten burned by wick tests like this before, and I'm not going to take it in the middle of the range. I'm not going to do it. It probably will work because I'm not doing it, but I'm not going to take a wick test that fires off in the middle of the range. There's the wick test, boys. I just don't like it. I mean, the nice thing is that we got VWAP and point of control holding us up, maybe, but it's in the middle of the range. I just think the expansion down to 420, 410 is unfortunately very possible. All right, initial balance is now formed. The initial balance stats say that we should technically be going down to the IBL today, but we'll see. There we go. I want to see this close at or below 80. It's a no-go still. I got to wait for a 10-point close below. 8 to 10, in this case, like 80s close is fine, but I'm not taking a trade until we close it. Not ideal. I agree. This is a nice expansion. I'd like to see us close down there. But again, if we wick all the way up into it, I'm not taking that trade until we close it. So no way. We're going to do it again. Right at the close. I would not say this is very clean. I'm tempted to still try it. I'm gonna go and move that break even. Get through 80. Slap the lows. Nice. Good trade there. So that's a short off IB. In a perfect world, we close IB 10 points below. We just barely closed it. I took a peek at Delta, and it was looking okay, which is why I went ahead and just threw on the 88 trade. Stop above yesterday's close, and got just under $1,000. One more tick or something, I would have been at $1,000. That's fine. Call it $1,000. I don't care. Call it under $1,000. Doesn't matter to me. And then yeah, just targeting like 15 points there. Clean trade. Very happy with that. That's why I wait, man. I just waited. I waited an hour and 5 minutes. I waited an hour and 5 minutes through a bunch of really boring, terrible chop. This is not conditions I personally want to trade right around VWAP and point of control. And then I wait for initial balance to form, and then we make the move, and I have a clear trade to take, and I get to execute it, right? Patience, man. Patience and discipline, and knowing the strategy and executing off of it. And that's, you know, $990 times 20 accounts. After commissions, that's $19,561.